everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus, coming at you with a bit of a unique brew from Wardog. He gave me two options for his donation deck list. One was a more traditional, well, somewhat traditional prowess deck for Modern, and then there was this interesting creation for the Legacy format. I decided to kind of close out the week on a spicy note. This is Rakdos Waste Not. Based around the card Waste Not, which is an enchantment from M15 that a lot of people have been trying to break over the years. Basically, whenever an opponent discards an effect, a card, something happens. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, you get a zombie. Whenever they discard a land, you get 2 black mana. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, you draw a card. And then to that end, you're playing things like a Thoughtseize, Cabal Therapy, and Raven's Crime to empty your opponent's hand. Burning Inquiry to kind of mess with everything. A very illogical magic card that drives me nuts playing against it. Faithless Looting to kind of shape your hand a little bit. And then you're playing some value creatures for discards. Things like Hollow One and Kroxa are both cards that don't mind discarding yourself. Young Peasy pairs quite nicely, especially with Cabal Therapy. And then Dreadhorde Arcanist, you have a boatload of 1-drop spells here. And then kind of a Liliana, kind of tie it all together. So you're trying to clear your opponent's hand and then clock them with one of your threats, either an Arcanist, a Pyromancer, or a Kroxa, and then just kind of obliterate them on a zero-sum game. 21 lands, you have a couple Fiery Islets here as red sources that allow you to cantrip. And then in the sideboard, you have various answers to different things. Red Blasts obviously come in against any type of blue decks, help cover your weaknesses against things like Oko and such. 3 copies of Surgical Extraction, pretty nice against any type of graveyard or graveyard value card. 2 copies of Plague Engineer, which are pretty good against any type of... What's up, Kenston? How are you doing today? And then third Liliana of the Veil, kind of as another value mid-game card. 2 copies of Eliminate to help deal with more creatures and planeswalkers. 2nd copy of Thanks for the Follow. And then another Raven's Crime here to accentuate the card discard. And then 3 copies of Lava Dart when you're playing against more copies of smaller creature decks, so decks like Elves, potentially even Delver strategies, etc. So, no idea how this deck plays out. This could easily be an 0-5 Flameout, could easily be a 5-0. I don't know what's going to happen. I know Wardog said he's worked on this deck some at his local shop. Unfortunately, my local shop doesn't really play Legacy, so even if they did, I don't really have a Legacy deck at this point, in paper at least. So we shall see how it goes. But we are wrapping up the stream for this week with this deck. As a friendly reminder, streams will be Sunday through Wednesday evenings. From now on, approximately 11:30 to midnight starting time, depending on whether I'm working or not. I can start a little bit earlier. For now, I'm just going to be focusing on MTGO on the streams. I'm still going to be working on the World of Warcraft content, but it's probably going to be off stream. This is a hand. So it goes first. Definitely keeping this one. Probably leading on Thoughtseize, depending on what our opponent does. Just grab a swamp of Thoughtseize. About to get stifled. That would kind of suck. Doesn't look like it. What are they doing here? Thieves Guild Enforcer. Okay, sure. Thanks for putting a Crocs in my yard. Much appreciated. Thoughtseize here. So we're up against rogues, huh? Borrowers, kind of whatever. Changeling Outcast is a 1/1. Can't block or be blocked. Drawn locks, like mildly annoying. Is that a rogue? It is. I feel like we take Una's Blackguard here and then just kind of screw with them with whatever. What is it with people trying to play rogues as a deck in these formats? So they're playing surgical extraction in their main. Okay. What a weird strategy. So we know they still have Brazen Borrower and so if they decide which one to pitch. Brazen Borrower. Interesting. What is the more valuable prize here? As soon as anything goes to the graveyard, this becomes a 3/2. I think I'm supposed to run out the Waste Not here. Yes, it is our namesake card, but also it's a card that our opponent really can't afford to let resolve. So it's going to get the Drown Lock out of their hand. So we gotta hope that they don't draw anything relevant here. We take 4, which is mildly annoying, but it's kind of whatever here. You have another surgical extraction? So that would have been mildly annoying. It's actually kind of a tough choice which ones to keep there. Between the Bolt and the Liliana, of course. Okay, seems loose to be scouring us. Ponder. Maybe Endo. I don't know. It's Wardog's list, so I think the deck's more about things like Dread Horror Arcanist than it is something like okay. Keep our life total a little bit higher. It's a heck of a draw for them. Draw one more way to tempo this out. We're dead here. Don't think we have an out here, unfortunately. I mean, I guess we flashback looting, but it's not going to amount to much here. I'm just going to concede instead of showing them the hollow ones. So, rogues. Plague Engineer feels pretty good. Eliminate feels pretty decent. Leon is probably okay. Main deck surgicals they're packing are kind of obnoxious. Well, not only standard decks, but also in ours, like we have kind of a mashing together of a hollow one deck for modern before Faithless Looting was banned, and the Rakdos decks that are kind of whatever. Just pass the turn here. I mean, we could Burning Inquiry, but I'm more interested in trying to get Waste Not down first. I don't know if they're packing Force of Will and they're kind of very heavy black deck, but the card we care about here is Drown the Lock. But I want to see if we can get them to flinch first. Thieves. It's a card they played last game. Thieves Guild Enforcer. Well, let's have some fun, shall we? Hit me, dealer. Sure, I'm cool with you randomly surgically burning your inquiry. So, use the surgical. Fatal pushes in the graveyard. We still know those cards of their deck. So, change. So they have a ponder and a bunch of lands. Alright. Guess we should have taken the ponder. So ironically, they left the Burning Inquiry in our graveyard, which means that's another card for Croxa to flashback, potentially. Or two. Yeah. So. What did they do with their ponder here? Yeah. Actually, after I thought about it, yeah, I probably did. I was thinking I wanted more pressure on the board. So, what card do I actually care about here? I feel like I care about Thought Thief more. I chose not to shuffle. But to be honest, Kensidin, this is my first time even playing this deck, so I have no idea what the proper lines are. It's just kind of fumbling around and hoping I make the right plays. Okay. So our opponent had a couple pieces of interaction. We drew a land, so we're just going to Faithless Loot here. I think we keep the Eliminate here. Sure. Okay, there's the Delta we knew about, so we have no idea what the remaining card in our opponent's hand is. swamp in our hand in case we draw a... Okay, the blackguard, sure. Yep. I highly doubt this is what's in their hand, but Cavern of Souls. Kind of unfortunate, that's the card in their hand. I guess I should play out my lands since they're going to get discarded anyway. Rogue. Should have attacked first there. I guess in the end it doesn't particularly matter. So we're just dead. Alright. Guess we should have taken the Ponder. Drawn 2 cards. That was a bit of a rough one. I know people were trying to play Rogues in Pioneer. I didn't know that they were trying to make it a thing in Legacy too. I have played against some weird Legacy decks. And I'm saying that as someone playing a Waste Not deck at the moment. Played against Minotaurs the other day and against Rogues just now. So, yeah. Been a weird week. And I'm saying that as someone playing Shardless Sultai and Rakdos Waste Not. This hand seems alright. Definitely a keep. We're up against the legit pony. So goblins, looks like. Not sure which one of my 2-mana threats I'm supposed to deploy here. Feels like easily our opponent could have a munitions expert here or something, so... Yeah. Another land? Cool. Opponent has a wasteland, they have a wasteland. Get some old 2-for-1 value going here. And we're probably going to get hit by Lackey, unfortunately. No, no Lackey. Okay. I wonder if they're Winota. I've seen a Winota prison deck pop up before. Could also be very much a card that we're up against. Yep, it's definitely goblins confirmed. Cards that they hit. Sharpshooter, Basilic Mons in their hands. Can afford for that to be on the board. Hopefully we don't get hit by a Muxus. It looks like we're going to. So everything has haste. Is this still lethal? Exactly lethal. Wow. Okay, definitely want the plug engineers, definitely want the eliminates. This is a lava dart matchup. Might be a couple lava darts for Lackey and such. Liliana feels pretty bad in this matchup. Everyone's crown's a little lackluster. Waste Knight might be a little bit slow. Re-Inquiry is a fine card, just kind of questionable how many we want, and Crocs is probably a little bit slow. Alright, this feels like the kind of hand we want. Kill spell and a kill spell into Plug Engineer. Alright, that's not a terrible draw. Gives us something to do with our mana this turn. I don't know the particular that's good with this hand, but I suppose it's not terrible either. I just pass as things are. See if they violin a Lackey. Hopefully they don't have Munitions Expert here. I guess Munitions Expert doesn't particularly matter. Hand is a little bit locked up by Chalice, though. Munitions Expert. Getting hit for quite a bit here. Chalice is going to hurt us a lot throughout this game. So it does not seem like they have a... All right. So 0-2 so far. Doesn't really feel like we're running into the particular matchups this deck wants to prey on. Like, this feels like a deck that can like pound combo decks and such just by pure attrition. But we're mainly running into Goblins, a deck that has a built-in bunch of 2, 3, 4 for 1s. And then Rogues just has a little bit of enough of a flash tempo element that they're annoying. So, and they have a good bit more threats than something like Delver. So, though there were definitely some mistakes in the Rogues matchup. I shouldn't have taken their creature away. I should have taken their ponder away, which would have limited their ability to manipulate their library. But it ended up they were drawing a couple of kill spells off the top anyway, so kind of hurt our plans a little bit as it was. So how is everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Once again, this will be the last stream of this particular week. We'll be back on Sunday, probably back to Modern. Played quite a bit of Legacy this week. I'll be working on some content off camera for the YouTube channel. But I did want to get this donation deck list in that I owed Wardog, so... no lander, unfortunately. This hand's pretty reasonable. What am I putting back is the question mark. Don't know which one of these ones I'm supposed to put back at this point. Death and taxes, that's a little rough. Thalia would be a card that would definitely mess with us a little bit here. Spirit of the Labyrinth, Spirit of the Labyrinth. Alright. Well, it looks like next turn we are sacrificing Dreadhorde Arcanist to get 2 Spirits of the Labyrinth. I'm not going to be able to name Mother of Runes, even if you... Yeah. It's one of those hands, if we were on the play, it would have been much better. Because then we would have been able to go Waste Not plus that. Instead, this is what we're up against. Pretty sure we get to draw a card here. No, actually we don't, because we don't have Waste Not in play. Dur-dur-dur. Sure. You can't. You're on Thalia. Do you forget how your card works, friend? Alright, what you got? Flicker Wisp or something here? Some ways I question why they don't play the swords and keep a Skyclave apparition for the Waste Not, but you know, whatevs. Oh well, I guess we gained some life off of this, so I shouldn't be too mad. So I have to waste 2 removal spells on Mom here. pressure off the table. Maybe I'm supposed to kill Mom here while we have the window down, but I think buying us more turns is more useful. Two, 4, 5. They have a Flicker Wisp, we're just dead. Skyclave Apparition. Yep. Ran the Lava Darts. Liana. Engineers and the Eliminates. Looks like we go down at least some amount of the Waste Nots. Cabal Therapy is okay in small numbers. Holy Tremor Raven's Crime. A Thoughtseize. Inquiry is okay against them, but not fantastic. Crocs is a little bit nonsensical. They could be bringing in Rest in Peace against us, so that's also another reason to go down Croxa a little bit. So it doesn't do anything, we have no mana. This hand seems alright. Probably name Vile or Mom here on one. Actually, what card stops our progression? Our progression here is Waste Not into Burning Inquiry. So yeah, I still think we hit either Vile or Mom here. Alright, so they have none of the above. If they wasteland us, it's gonna suck, but Revoker is kind of useless against us, other than I guess I can name a fetch land. That doesn't stop a darn thing. that legitimately stops nothing. Yep. Opponent did not attack. Okay. Still think we push it. Yep. Back in 1 sec. Alright, let's see what this hand does. On the place, we have Thoughtseize into Arcanist. That's good enough. Do you even name blind here? Sylvan Library, Prime Time, and a difficult question. What do we take here? Opponent discards a creature card. Opponent discards a land card. Creature not land. So we know they have a Zenith in hand. First, I'm discard a land. We'll pitch a Waste Not. All right. Okay. Is that our first actual win this in a game this thing? So we're up against Cloud Coast. Guess we bring in Liliana. Maybe bring in a Raven's Crime. Surgicals could be good, I honestly don't know. So just the Bajuka Bog. Raven's Crime, you go. Yep, they're up to 7 mana this turn. Does nothing in hand, so we just go ahead and Thoughtseize it, I guess. Go 2/2. So we'll hold back their nonsensical dude. No blocks. Guess we keep this hand just because of the Burning Inquiry stupidity. Burn? Okay. Guess that was kind of dumb on my part, but therapy in the yard. Land Eidolon. Their land is Mountain Islet currently. We're going to 12 and then 9 and 8. And 6. We want to draw another land here. That's mildly unfortunate. I still think we run out Arcanist and kind of hope for the best here. Yeah. They really had to think that long about killing me. Okay. Chain Lightning, Goblin Guide. Anna's fine here. Eliminates are fine. Reven's Crime's okay. Probably not particularly interested in Thoughtseizes. I mean, I guess Thoughtseize could be okay in a pinch. One of maybe. Plague Man's like okay, but really kind of slow. sure to fetch basics as much as we can here. Could run on Arcanist, but once again, it probably just gets bolted and dies. Or some their variant thereof, Chain Lightning, whatever. Relic of Progenitus, not particularly relevant. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Play this. Play Burning Inquiry. Shuffle up and hit me dealer. Do I have a name here? That's kind of dumb luck. It's what? Chain Lightning. I think this is what this deck's supposed to do normally. Just... yeah. I guess I risk grabbing the Badlands here. See if they pop the Relic EOT. They do. Shocker. Fire Blast, Fire Blast. Okay. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have lethal here, right? Beep, 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 do. Just to stay alive. Deal. All right. So far we've seen Goblin Guide and Bomat Courier. We haven't actually seen Eidolon or Monastery Swiftspear, and they are playing Lutz. So not really sure that really changes much. Still think we just submit. I mean, relics are kind of annoying to our strategy, but at the same time, we're not like completely a graveyard-based strategy, so much like Graveyard Hate against Hollow One, it's good, but not great. The old modern Hollow One decks, that is. I think I'm inclined to keep this hand. Bolt into Waste Not into Burning Inquiry. I screwed up here. I should have cracked this on my main phase. That way they can't trigger Lutz. Looks like I'd be able to trigger it anyway. And gotta be mindful of our life total a little bit. Eyelet's not particularly a card I'm interested in. Bolt to the face, yep. It's kind of awkward. Blaze, a fire blast, and a mountain gone. I guess I'm willing to run out or take a point from a potential price of progress to get that down. Okay, they're going to 19. Are we dead? We deciding if we want to kill the Dreadhorde Arcanist or go face? Is that what we're deciding here? Chain Lightning face. Okay. Relic of Progenitus. Bunch of mana we can't do nothing with. Don't think I cracked that, but there's a good chance we could be dead this turn anyway. Sure. Yep. Pretty sure we're dead here. Alright, bolt, creature, we're dead. Sure. Yep. Alright, be back in a sec with the wrap up. Alright, I'm not kidding. We're going to continue with the wrap up here. So, that was rough. We got to see it do its thing a couple times. It's really powerful and a really interesting engine. Just, I don't know. I'm sure there were misplays and wrong lines that I took here and there. But you can definitely see the power of like Waste Not with Burning Inquiry, the thought process of like discard spell into 2-drop powerful threat into Liliana. Just doing relatively powerful things. I'm not really sure how I feel about the Hollow One package. Like I really feel like, I don't know, if I were to approach the deck, I think I'd approach it more with a like Rakdos like Pyromancer deck in mind. I don't know. It just feels like maybe we're just running up against bad matchups, or not what this is designed to play against. But it just feels like that there's just big holes in what this deck was doing against the particular matchups we played. There were some matchups where I wanted, obviously some type of life gain against like Burn and some of the other aggressive decks, and maybe something like what's the name of the card? Cling to Dust or Collective Brutality. There was a couple spots where something like Angrass Rampage would have been pretty good against the Ether Vial decks. Once again, small sample size, really kind of hard to say. We didn't really run into decks where Surgical Extraction was particularly relevant. We didn't really run into any blue decks, so where Reb was relevant. But that's one of the things like Legacy and Modern. You're going to run into matchups where you can have like a balanced sideboard and feel amazing, and then you're going to run into matchups where, especially with like these mid-range, rock style strategies, which in the end that's what this deck is. It's like a black XX deck that's trying to out-grind the opponent, out-top deck the opponent. And, there are some matchups, like the Cloud Post deck, certain games against Burn we were able to do that. But, this deck really just, really relies on that engine. And if you get, like, a deck like Goblins that can just, like, 3-for-1 you with a Ringleader, or 4-for-1 you and kill you with a Muxus, get locked out by a Chalice on one. There's a lot of random things where, maybe I didn't take the right lines in some games and some stuff, and it certainly, like, showed I don't, like, have experience with the style of deck. Especially not with, like, the Waste Not engine. I have some experience with, like, a Dreadhorde, Arcanist, Kroxa, Luris decks in Standard and Historic, but this isn't Standard and Historic. I think if I were to approach the deck personally, honestly, I would be tempted to run a Luris package. Maybe Luris is just too slow for a format like Legacy now. But I'd honestly just consider running like a Luris package and like forgoing the Lilianas and the Hallow ones. And just like running the four Young PZ, 4 Dreadhorde Arcanist, 4 Kroxa, 4 Waste Not. And then just kind of, maxing out my disruption to maximize those cards. Whether it be, I don't know, more like Inquisitions, more Cabal Therapies, Raven's Crime is an amazing sideboard card, but I don't think it's a particularly good main deck card against a lot of matchups. And I'd be really tempted to go 4-4, especially if you're playing this deck and you like have knowledge of like what decks you're playing against, especially in like a local format. I really think that's how like I'd approach the deck. But then again, that's like my experience with the deck, so the whatchamacallit, Priest of the Forgotten Gods, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Kroxa, those are the deck, the style of deck I'm used to playing with this kind of deck, not like a half Hollow one, half Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying, but like I said, I'm not experienced with this style of archetype. In fact, in Legacy, I think I've gravitated towards the blue soup decks and the Turbo Goblins decks, as well as like the Death Shadow decks. So I don't know. Anyways, I've been rambling enough. Thanks everybody for tuning into the stream. Wardog, I hope when you see this later that this makes some sense to you. I hope I did your deck at least enough justice, but yeah. Definitely not my strong point in the Legacy format. So, anywho, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope everybody has a great night.